little better. So this is Minister Evangelist Crystal Lachelle Wax, a woman that already been ordained before I even hit my mama womb. Now, God had already finished me, test me and finished me. That's why I came to the earth. I outbeat all the other sperm and egg, and for some reason I made it here. So, and I was here for a reason. I came here for a reason with a purpose and a mission. And one thing that I want to do is to encourage. For some reason, I just love motivating people. I don't like talking about people, and I don't like to put people down because it's been done to me and I know how it feels. So therefore, I don't go in that direction. I'm not going to be two-faced with you. At the end of the day, I want to be able to encourage people that all that negative stuff that people don't told us along the years and even as children, that we could never do this and we could never be that. I was told that I said that I wanted to be a singer and I wanted to help people and I wanted to be a model when I was younger. And I was told that I wasn't pretty enough to be a model. I was told that I didn't have the voice to sing like all the other top Aretha Franklin and stuff like that. I was told I was told that I would be on welfare with a house full of children and I could never go to college. I was told by white research doctors or whoever that they was when I was younger, because they did a lot of tests and a lot of research on me. And I just got tired of these people being up in my life, and I told my mom, I don't want them. I don't want to do no more tests, you know. And it got mad because I didn't want them to test me no more. I didn't want them touching my children. And most likely, over the years, all of a sudden, my children is always ending up in some kind of state institution so they can be tested anyway. That's so disrespectful, right? But I was told by these people, because I have this dwarfism, just small hands. And you can never do nothing with your small hands. You can't pick up nothing. If you have children, you're gonna die. And then they told me how I was severe mentally retarded, how I was incapable of learning anything in life. And when my mother told me that, it stuck in my head. Hmm. Cause see, in the process of all of this, I was also being physically sexual abused, and I was pregnant at the age of 12, 8th grade, pregnant by my aunt's husband. CPS adopted me out to that home. So I went through life with that thing stuck in my head. I'm incapable. But wait a minute. How did I graduate from high school? Why was the teachers using me as the teacher aide to help other children? But I was incapable though. Why was I working in the high school cafeteria and there were certain things that you had to keep track on, like inventory and there are certain things that you had to do in a kitchen, safety wise, running the dishwasher. You have to be capable of learning how to run a dishwasher. When I was 12 years old, I came up with my own way to make my own money. I would babysit. I would shovel snow, rake up leaves. That was I don't know if that was the ability to sit up there and say I need money and I need to go get me some money. I don't know if that's a learning thing right there to go get my money on my own. I graduated from high school. I have to admit it was a third grade reading level. Okay. But that thing stays stuck in my head that you're incapable of learning, Crystal. But wait a minute. After high school, I took the CNA, that's a certified nurse assistant. That means that you're working up under doctors and nurses in a nursing home or in a hospital or going to people's home. Now, you just don't become no certified nurse assistant. We're talking about life and death is in your hand. You are handling live patients in your hands. Their life depends on you. So if I was incompetent and incapable of doing it, I would never have passed the state test because once you get trained on the floor, you got to pass the state test to become certified. No state is going to really let you work the floor, and you got to sit up there and you have to do correct vitals, because even the patient vitals must be accurate. You have to make sure that everything that you do with the patient is on point. And any record pointing, any record recording, it has to be accurate documents. They can fire you if you falsifying a patient temperature and you just don't want to go in to do your vitals, but the patient got a temperature like over 100, but you didn't do your vitals. And so the patient go in shock or something, and that's on you. They can fire you for that. That's negligent on your job. So if I was incompetent and unable to do this, the state, we're talking about state government, would never made me a certified nurse assistant, a certified home care provider over 25 years. So I got tired of I was going to go higher because that thing, though I achieved that, but that thing stayed in my head, if you will, incapable. And I found myself being an overachiever because I have to show myself and these people I am not dumb. I am not a dumb woman. I am capable of doing it. I was in the JTPA, that's job training program, and I got certificates after like I had a wall filled with certificate, but due to my circumstances, I lost all my accomplishment. I lost all my certificates, even my diploma, just moving around too much. Now, unstable all my life. Foster home, this foster home, that foster home. The beginning of your instability type of lifestyle, if you will. You could never get settled in foster care that you like because now she got to come get you and move you to another foster care. You understand? So I got tired of working in a nursing home. And I worked for Kelly Health Service, if anybody know about Kelly, and Narelle Health Service, if anybody know about those two major names, especially in Indiana. And they loved me. The DON, that would be the director of nursing, just in case I'm incapable of knowing what that is. Because you got to know medical terminology in order for you to even work in the healthcare field. You got to know exactly what they're talking about when they abbreviate medical terminology. Now, can't pronounce all those words, but I do know enough where I know I can communicate with the nurses and the doctors about this patient. I know what pressure sores mean, the cubits. But this is a black woman that they labeled severely. That means I can't function in life at all. Do you understand me? I am unable to function in life at all, severely. You understand? So I got tired of the medical because I was going to go ahead and challenge myself to a PhD in psychology. My son beat me to that. He got an associate's in psychology. But I did take psychology. And I challenged myself in psychology because I wanted something hard and challenging because that's what kind of woman I am. You understand? Don't give me none of that catty and petty stuff because I'm not about that. I'm a brainiac, if you will. So I took psychology and I got 4.0 during that semester that I took psychology. My mind was learning, my mind was picking up on what I wanted to do, what I was interested in, and I got a 4.0 in it. But then I said, I tried phlebotomist and all that. I said, I'm tired of the medical field. I said, I need something more higher and challenging. So I decided to go towards the law. So I said, I seen the, on TV the commercial with Romeo, Master P son, ICDC College was advertising their school. So I said, you know what? I'm going towards the law. I said, now, I said, now, if you can get the law, you smart girl, you smart, you smart. So I went to ICDC College and I took my paralegal course. It was a year. It's a year, and I finished, and I got A's. I mean, I had people that was already working for the law firm, and they was kind of having complication with those tests and those exams, and they would two smart ones, Blanca and the other little one, the catty petty skinny type of girls, and there was some other black girls in the class, and we was like around the way girls. You know what I'm saying? Trying to learn this law thing. You feel me? But the way how Yolanda, our attorney that taught the class, she used to be one of the best, I think, public defender in Los Angeles County courthouse. And the way how she will walk you, she walk like she already knew her stuff. And I admired her. You understand? And then the way how she taught us. She taught us where even around the way girls could understand and comprehend. Now we did have another attorney. He was a white guy, and he taught the class. And he was like that dry eye commercial. If people remember that dry eye, he was lecturer. He was some more lecturing type. But the way how she broke it down like, okay, let's say that you went up there, right, because there's a gray area of the law. So she said that let's just take a mother. Mother is at home, the kids is starving. She go to a grocery store and she pick up something. She steals something and then she get caught, and so she have to stand before the judge. Now the judge will weigh out, why did you do that? Well, because I got kids at home, and I'm hungry and they're hungry, and so the judge may be more lenient. This is where the gray area of the law, and how she broke it down for us. It was just clicking, clicking, clicking. And I was reading my book word for word, and I soaked that stuff in because I'm a soaker. When people think I'm not listening, some of the guys, they will show me how to do the cars thing, and they think I wouldn't listen, but I got it. It's soaked. I soak up things. My daughter, not Tisha. Sometimes it's like, Tisha, are you hearing me? But she's a soaker. She soaks up the information and then it comes out later on. And so I'm acing these tests, and I'm even shocking myself because I was like, man, because I was in a bad situation and I still went to school. I had a choice to be out on the streets and just hanging, or Crystal, do something positive with yourself. Now, the good thing about the home that I did grow up in, my aunt and my aunt and my uncles now, they work. So we grew up being workaholics. In the nursing home, I was only making $3.35 an hour. But me, my aunt Peggy, I worked with my mom and my aunt Peggy, and we worked the nursing home, and we would work back to back. We'd do 3 to 11, 11 to 7. You understand? We did double shifts. You understand? So that was the good thing. I was not allowed as a young person to just sit around. You had to get up out the house and go find a job, or go to school, but you got to do something positive. So she had me go during the summer months. We couldn't just be at home. We had to be. I had to be a part of the JTPA. That's job training program for the youth in Indiana, in South Bend, Indiana. So I worked for El Camino Daycare one summer, and then I worked for the South Bend Housing Authority. So I end up having that skill up under my belt. Now, working with preschoolers and then working with Miss Geraldine Johnson at the South Bend Housing Authority. And we would go out to the scatter houses, which is Section 8 housing, to inspect them to make sure that everything was still in order, right? Again, this is the same woman that they say that incompetent, incapable of learning. Here I am acing paralegal. Paralegal is the next step to an attorney. The only reason why I haven't made that attorney jump because they're telling me because I'm already studying the bar and I'm doing well on it, just the practice test. So and I haven't had no Harvard, no Yale, no law university at all. Just the experience I've been through in life and just common sense and what I've learned from that 1 year of paralegal study. Basically, I self educate myself. Basically, I teach myself whatever is online. I teach myself. I want to learn more and more. You understand? Because when I was going through abuse as a child, my mom would keep me from school. And so I had to stay at home and I had to watch her children because she was so sick. And I'm 7, 8 years old, and I had to be a mother to my brothers and sister, rather people want to tell the truth and shame the devil or not. I did not have a good childhood life at all. You understand me? I can every now and then I remember being outside with my friends. You understand? But it was not a pretty childhood life. So there was a child that was traumatized. It didn't mean that I was incompetent and never able to learn nothing. But when a child have been traumatized and they have suffered severe abuse, the learning is going to be off. Or if they know that I'm at school now, I'm pretty safe without the kids, besides the kids bullying me in school. But here's the thing: when you at school and you that child, you got that grown man ready for you to get off for you to come home from school so that he could get his rocks off. You don't want that, and that's what bothers you in your mind. That's what bothers a child. It bothers them. So how can a child study when they got such a thing on their mind? It taught me how to also have a heart for children that they call, oh, that's a troublemaker. 9 times out of 10, somebody is messing with that child at home, or our adult is messing with that child, and they always got to make that child look like the villain. Does that make sense? The child is always looking like the villain because they got to cover up what they doing to that child. You understand? He always, oh, she just lying on me, Sandra. She just, woo, woo. Why would I have to lie on you? I'm sitting up here 6 months pregnant, got pregnant by him twice, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, on the 12, when I was 12 years old, and she couldn't have no children. So she debating back and forth, should I let her carry the baby or not? The school officials is going to start asking questions the more bigger that she gets, along in her pregnancy. I'm sitting there, I'm laying on the bed, hearing the conversation between her and my auntie, and they're just having a conversation about the issue, and eventually she came to terms that in the state of Michigan, that they will do abortion up to 6 months. So she took me there and to have the abortion. Never once did she explain things to me. I never got things explained, never really got those hugs. You understand what I'm saying? It was just one of those household where affection wasn't showed. That's why I tell my children, I love you, I care about you. They get kisses, they get hugged, and I think I became overly protected. They call it, Mom, you trying to control. No, no, I don't. No, I don't. Or you would have been in college a long time ago, honey, if I was controlling your life at the end of the day. Because I do believe in education. I may not be the top person that's educated, but I believe in getting every learning. Just keep on learning new things. Try to keep up with the time. Try to keep up with your new skills. I'm learning about AI. Just taking it a little bit at a time because I'm 59 years old now. But this is what people said that I was incapable of doing. This is what people say, and then they'll call you crazy because you different. Well, how are you different, Crystal? Because I don't think in the box with them. And I wish people would stop comparing me. They compare me to the white women. My body is not built like her, sir. You could tell I'm a black woman. You could tell I'm more big boner than your white women. Please stop comparing the two women. Please. She got her own body all to herself the way that God wanted her to be made. And I got mine. Can you please stop trying to put me in the category that I do not belong? Like you trying to force me in this category. No, I'm going to stand outside the box and I'm just going to be myself. If you reject me, that means that you aren't supposed to be around me in the first place. You understand? Some of us wasn't meant to be a part of the pack. Some of us just wasn't. That's why some people couldn't keep long-term jobs because they just felt like I'm not supposed to be here making money for you all my damn life. 67 years they get out of your damn life. 67 years is that's when you retire from working for somebody else and you made them rich, but your ass is broke. Yes, I did say ass. Your ass broke. Our asses are walking around here. I gave these people so many years of my life working, to the point where I neglected my health because I was too busy trying to work for my kids and my grandchildren. And my daughters never had to pay for a child care provider because I was the child care provider for three of my grandchildren. I said I didn't want nobody taking care of my first grandbaby. That's Sapphire. Sapphire, and she's everything about her is a brown grandmother. Sapphire Lachelle. She named after me and my first baby that I had that they took me to go have an abortion in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That abortion clinic. They will do it up to 6 months. I was going to name her Jasmine. So my first grandbaby is named after the baby that was gone. And so Sapphire Lachelle Jasmine Lax. She's probably a Jackson now because she got adopted out. You understand? Like they went through my whole entire family. My whole entire family been studied. You understand? But my point is you can't let somebody put a sticky note on you. That's why it's like, look here, bro. You still think I'm slow and dumb? No, I'm quiet. But that doesn't mean a person is slow and dumb. I'm soaking in your words. I'm listening attentively to what you're saying, how you're saying it, the tone, the level of tone that you're saying it. Is it in a derogatory way? Are you trying to belittle me? Are you trying to degrade me? Because I'm not going to listen to anybody that's degrading me. When it comes to negative people, I will let you. It goes in this ear, and if it doesn't make me a better person, if it has nothing to do with elevating me, if it has nothing to do with not taking away from me but adding to me, your words don't matter to me. Your opinion don't matter to me. Your words don't matter because I have proved to myself that all the words of somebody else don't matter. It's what I say and what God say. What I say about myself and what God say. That's all that matters. I took the sticky notes off my forehead that they put on my forehead when I was younger. I got my certificate, my paralegal certificate, and it was like a so real but out of the body kind of moment. She said, "Congratulations, Crystal, you're now a paralegal. Congratulations, Crystal, you're now an ordained minister." Because I went through ministry training too. The stuff ain't fake. You're now a ordained minister. You're now an author. My books is on Barnes and Noble. I write my own books. I publish my own books on their platform. I probably don't have the marketing and sales down pat, but but Barnes and Noble is one of the godfather. No, you don't. People don't understand this. Barnes and Noble. Do anybody know about Barnes and Noble? They're all over the mall. They are the godfather of bookstores. Who don't want to get their books in Barnes and Noble? Here I am, this little independent amateur, amateur writer. I always wanted to publish my books. So I looked in it and looked into it. It was going to cost me thousands of dollars. I was like, God, I don't have that type of money, but I'm not I'm not good at my grammar in English. So it's like, God, I don't. And then I just said, you know what? Write the dang book anyway, and try to use the little spell check, spell and grammar check. But you're not going to just have a dream and just have it here and not act on it. So if there's some error in it, like my first couple of books, there is error. It's like, dang. But at the end of the day, I said, that's okay. I'm going to keep getting better and better and better. The more books I write, the more better I get. The more I'm able to know about the put. Don't forget to put your table of contents. Don't forget to get your acknowledgement. So I'm getting better and better at my writing, my books, but it took practice. Everything that we do in life takes practice. Everything that we do in life takes studying. People say, I want to be able to preach the word. How often do you study the word? How often do you get the word inside of your system so it can flow? Now, I used to be able to quote those scriptures and tell you turn to this and that, but but I went astray like about at the age of 36. And then I was out there. And then I had, when you grew up in the church in your 20s and that's all you did was church, 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 church. And then you get mad at God about something and then you just go astray. And so, but I needed to also learn street sense because I was naive and gullible like a mug. At the end of the day, people used to tell me things and I used to believe every dang word that people told me. That's how gullible and naive I was. She ain't that way no more. Trust and believe. I'm going to go and check. I'm going to research what you said to me. I research and I check everything that people say to me. Make sure that they telling me the right thing. That's what you should do. That's why I give people Bible scripture so that they know that I'm not just saying this just to be saying this. You can go to the Bible yourself. That's one thing that my pastor that I trained up under. She said, just don't take my word, but go to the scripture itself. And it's something about you reading it for yourself and it's getting digested in your system so that you know that you and I are on the same truthful page. When I tell people about certain things, I try to give them the link where it's going to take you right there to what I just told you about. I'm not going to give you no false information. I need to have resource. I need to have backup. And I learned that in school, in college. I went to American River College for my psychology. And then I went to ICDC College. I was like, they said I'll never go to college. My family told me I'll never go to college. Did I go to college? Yes, I did. They said that I'll be in a house with a house full of kids and on welfare. Well, I was on and off welfare. Why was you on and off welfare? Because I was working that nursing home job, but I was paying $450 for 4 kids a week for daycare center, and I was working my tail off. And so some of the older women, sometimes we gotta listen to the older people because they know what they're talking about because they've been in our shoes before we even got there. So she said, baby, why don't you go down to the welfare office and they got programs that'll help you with child care because you just wearing yourself out. I watch you every day and you're just worn out. I said, yeah, because I got to work for my kids and pay for this child care. And she said, yeah, but they got a child care program. So I had to kind of reduce my hours down so I could be a part of that child care program and take advantage of the transportation because I had to pay for transportation, I had to pay my rent, I had to pay all these utilities, I had to buy kids the school clothes and backpacks and school supplies, and not including what I needed for myself, and then transportation for all of us to get to daycare. Sometimes we had to walk in the snow, sometimes we had to walk in the rain, the poor little babies. You understand? That's why I praise God for my son, because my son remember our hard struggle. And he didn't want to see his mama like that later on in her years. That's why he tried to do his best to help. And we was trying to do our best to work as a team. We just needed Dominique and Tisha to get their life right. And he was like, Mama, it's just me and you trying to hold on to the family. But he just couldn't hold on no more. Now it's just Mom. Because two of them, I don't know when they're going to get it together. They're going on 40 years old. They've been having negative people in their life. I pray to God that positive people come around them and give them a word of knowledge like I had to get. I don't have police officer gave me words of knowledge that stuck in there. It stayed in there. It stayed in there when I was mad at the world or having those nervous breakdowns. People calling you crazy as a young woman, as a young child, and you begin to adapt to what they call you. You begin to believe what they're calling you. And I told him one day a police officer, because the kids was fighting, and oh Lord, they was brothers and sisters, but they fought like cats and dogs. Oh my God, I ain't never seen kids that fight each other like this. So there was an officer that came out, and I said, yeah, because I'm just crazy. That's what everybody called me. It's crazy. And he looked at me. He was a white man, and he looked at me and he said, Miss Lax, if you crazy, Miss Lax, I'm crazy too. And you know, I had racism in my life. So for me to hear something positive from a white person, that shocked me, but it impacted me. He said, Miss Lax, you got the answer all inside of you. Huh. It's amazing how somebody can say something to you. Officer said, Miss Lex, you don't need that medicine that they're giving you. You just need to find other outlets. So that's why God is my outlet, and writing is my outlet, and singing is my outlet. Because I took positive words and I deposited. But anybody that come with negative and tear me down, and I've been this way my whole life, you are not accepted, you are not welcome. Whether you try to force yourself on me or not, that's almost a form of raping. I don't receive you. I reject you. I reject you in one ear and let it come out my other ear or out my ass, because I am not going to accept um waste material. I call it garbage. When you allow people negative words to go inside of you, it's filling you up with garbage, waste, crap. And what do you do with crap? You go in and flush it down the toilet, because it's not you. It's not doing you any use. It's not adding value to you. It's taking away value. It's making you feel lesser about yourself. It's making you feel bad about yourself. They put negative labels on you. They try to fat shame you for who you are. I'm being myself though. I'm not some bony woman that's trying all these masks and fake facade personas to try to fit in with people. I never was the girl that fitted in with the cheerleaders, and they used to call themselves the dream.